Um, Starting with with being Dover is Wednesday.
Let us know what the car needs.
Starting with this video, I'm gonna basically these two setups. Setup one was the very first setup I had at Dover. I'm gonna go run a few laps out there and show you what it is. And then the one I wanted to race with was with setup two. It was around, I want to say Bristol, right before Talladega. That's when I started kind of sort of started figuring some things out. And then my first win came at Kansas, and then I was able to back that up back to back at Dover. But I want to run uh, 10 to 15 laps on this setup and kind of go through how it was, um, and the things that felt different and was able to make different with the setup two, my actual race setup. So
All right, time to go. Remember your goals out
let's
there.
get into it.
Get a good feel for the car. Let's see if we can hit our goal out there.
Dover is definitely a track. If it tightens up, you're trying to getting through the center. It's probably, and the better you can get your car through the center, the longer in your fuel run, the better you're going to be. The better you're going to be. You're going to be able to start witnessing right off the back on my entries. It's not as stable. I have to lift a little bit
Right there.
to get in.
We're good here. Bring her back to the garage if you want.
And you can see it's a little twitchy, a little bit looser through the center on exit. Pole here was a 23.3. I believe that was set by Orange Man. I believe that pole this time around, it's going to be quicker. I wouldn't be surprised that somebody hits a 23 flat or a 23.1 to get pole here. And you can see my fastest lap so far was a 23.5 with this setup. And right now I feel the car changing, the balance is changing. Every time I get on the gas, I can start feeling that the car is slowly wanting to push or be a little bit tighter through the center on exit, which for me, it just keeps building. It's just going to keep building to the point to where I ain't going to be able to get in the gas. So I'm going to have to stay off the throttle more. Or I get to a point to where when I get on the gas, I'm going to have to lift again to make it stay off the wall. And already you can see the car starting to want to push up in the center. And I mean, I'm having to lift a little bit more, stay out the throttle a little bit more. I'm trying to back up the corners to help me get through the corners. So it's costing me time. You can see the car starting to push up towards the wall a little bit more. And only lap 7 into this run. And I'm already 24 flat. And even then, how much I lifted, how close I'm getting to the wall on exit. Yeah, I'm pretty much a bottom feeder here. I love wrapping the bottom. And that's pretty much my driving style here for Dover. I don't want to be higher than the middle, and if I can get that sucker lower into that lighter shade of that concrete, that is a good thing. If I can get my whole car wrapping that whole bottom side through the bottom and center, that's what I want. See, I'm having to lift just a little bit more to get the car to turn. Maybe 10 laps in 24.2. If I try to be more aggressive, you can see how it wants to push up harder, higher into that wall. I'm having to lift, stay out of it to get the car to rotate now. You can see that it's reflected in my times at lap 11. When I lift, you see I'm trying to get that car to turn in the center and on exit. That's what I'm having to do to drive the car. At lap 12, I am about 8/10, actually almost 9/10 off of my fastest lap. At lap 12. Again, I'm having to lift more and more to keep this car to turn. You see, the more I lift, I have to, I can't get back to the gas, because if I try to get back to the gas in the center, look, this is what happened. See, it's going to shove up, so I have to lift, so I have to adjust my driving to keep the pace that I want to do. So I can keep the car low, but it's at a sacrifice to overall speed for that lap. And that's what when I like to say, race what the car gives you. That's what I mean by that. You have to adjust. You have to adjust your drive style to what your car gives you. And that's where building your setups and what you want, and having a good fuel run, just kind of give you a good gauge on where you're going to be at. Let's see what this last time is going to be. This last time here. Okay, so basically 15 laps, I'm about a second fall off. 15 laps. And there's 10 laps left in this fuel run. So I'm going to go back to the garage.
Goal met. We're ready to move on.
Now, okay, get back in.
How's it going out there? Need an adjustment? All right, let us know what the car needs.
I'm going to go to my actual race setup that I wanted to race with at Dover. First go around, back in, I want to say week 11 was this race. And here we are, week 24, 25? Yeah, so it's been a minute since we've been back to Dover. And since then, I want to go to setup 3 to create a custom. And I want to see if I can try to definitely improve upon what I've learned so far on building the setup. So this will be totally from scratch on how I'm approach it. So before we get there though, I want to show you what this setup ran and how it ran for 15 laps.
How's that hot rod feeling out there so far? Let's find your marks out there. See what we've got. You're clear up.
right off the bat, the core, I'm able to wide open, and you can see already I'm
We got what we needed. You want to
about
bring it in or stay out?
what, tenth and a half or so quicker than what the last setup was. What I liked about this setup is throughout the course of the run, I'm able to basically get back in the throttle and it turns through the center better. I feel that the core, if it's more stable, I can get on the gas and ooh, a little rough right there, but see, the biggest difference that I can feel in this one is when I get back to the gas, I can actually ease off on the steering input, not kind of having to think that I have to hold on to it, like to turn left to make it continue to stay left. I can actually ease off of the throttle of the steering input, and I can pretty much be on the gas, and the core is going to still maintain its turn ratio. Missed my entry right there. I was looking at times. But I can, car still feeling pretty good on the exit. You know, I still lift to get that car down where I want it, down along that bottom. I float it up. I back up the corner. Get on the gas. I can maintain lower. Lap 10. About that 8/10. About the same thing on last time. Car still, I feel, rotates really good through the center. And again, I ain't got to force the exit turn to be keep it turning to stay off that wall. It's not shoving. I'm at that second fall off on lap 12, which is still 2/10 quicker than where I was. Than the setup one. So we're going to see in this next 3 laps where levels out at. So back down to a 3. And at this point, I'm starting to have to lift just a little bit more to get the car down where I want it. So that tells me that I'm probably approved upon this setup at this point. Now, we are a 10th better at lap 15 from where the last one was. Last one, we finished a whole second. This one here might roughly be about the same, maybe a 10th better. But the overall difference is at a 5. So, no worse than the last setup as far as time goes. But I find the car handles better than the last one. All right. Now, let's transition to the third setup, the new setup. Now we're moving to the new setup of Dover.
How's the car feeling so far?
See where we can get to. Now, I'm still trying to figure out this stuff in the approach, so I'm going to let's see. Dover's really a high speed, but it's high banks. It's 1 mile. It's very you're carrying a lot of G forces in those turns to carry that speed in there. So let's see. How high I want my front springs to be. Let's see. Okay, let's try this. Go here. Let's set that all down. Okay, that. Set this there. Put this back to neutral. Yeah, I think 5 and 5 is the center of everything. So, all right, rear springs goes all the way down to there. Let me start with a 760. We'll come back to here. Here. I'm gonna bring this all the way down. I'll leave this the same. I don't really use brakes. Here's where most going to come up with pitting. Trying to. You also make sure your brake bias is high enough to where when you're braking, not enough brake bias. If you're too low and you try to go on the brakes too hard, with you having some steering input to it, you're gonna lose it. So I'm gonna put it at about 54. I'm gonna test it later. There's no gear here, so put this here, put that there, do that there, and I'm gonna go a 500 here. Okay.
How's it going out there?
Let me bring up my little on my phone, my little guide that we have in our champion Discord. Jay White was nice enough to share that. I mean, I already had it on my phone, but Jay White shared it. That's the
you know you need to start the car, right? Can
that's
you
the
please
chart.
fire this thing up and get out there? What do you need out there?
That's the chart that's got the Nascar 25 in the top left with the white and the categories all up in blue, and then the tight and loose and the effects and everything that tells you I use that to help me tighter or looser on the car. So I'm gonna pull up that chart real quick. All right, let's
Any handling
go.
comments there in that run?
Let's see exactly what this is going to be. Too tight, too loose. We're gonna see. And I'm gonna run about.
Settle in, hit your marks, and focus on our goal.
Right now, let's just see how it is on entry. So it's going to be a lap or two just to see where I'm gonna start off at. Yeah, as you can see. Woo. Okay, well, already gonna have to make some changes.
What do you need out there?
Let's see. What do I want to do? Okay, I am going to try. I'm gonna do just nose weight. I want to see what it does.
How's the
just
car, boss?
Nose weight.
All right, let's make these laps count, nice and clean.
Another thing, all I changed was one thing. Let's see with going from a 51.5 to a 52, what nose weight does to this. Oh, still a little loose. All right, well, what I'm gonna do
How you feeling out there? Know what the car needs.
I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna put this back to here, and I'm gonna do that. I want to see what those adjustments just did.
Settle in, find your rhythm, and we'll build from there. Watch for the blend line now.
Ready? Well, as you can see, I'm about to manage to make a lap. Still a little loose off, little tight.
Great
center.
Lap. Keep it up. That's what we needed. Up to you if you want to stay out.
Definitely a little more unstable off, a little loose off. But the track itself is starting to tighten up, so that's going to kind of fix the off a little bit. So, well, car at this point don't feel half bad. Just don't have much fire kickoff speed because it's a little unstable. But you can see 5 laps in, I just ran a 0.2 difference from what my fire off was, or 2.5 tenths. But center's definitely starting to get a little tight. Right? gets through the center right here really good. Through 1 and 2. I'm gonna go to about lap 10, just to see. It is definitely pretty close to what I like. Just gotta do some little tweaks to everything. Might mess with the bump and rebound next. See, I like the fact that I can point it down to the bottom and it goes there. Entry, you're gonna pass a lot of cars and be really good if you can get your car to get into the corners like that. And if you can manage to get through the center, when a lot of people is going to be start getting tight and they're going to be lifting and they're going to be pushing up, you better set them up and dive right down below them and get back to the gas and make a pass. If you can get your car to rotate good like that, when everybody else's car is really right here, they want to shove up and they have to lift to get it to where they can get back to the gas, yeah, you're going to be carrying a 8 to 10 mile an hour faster than them through that corner. And even though you're still falling off, their tightness and everything, they've fallen off more than you are. And that's how you're going to have a good finish or even potentially win this race, is being able to get in and through the center of the corners better than everyone else.
Okay, let's change things up.
Now, okay, I want to do a little bit more in entry, so I'm gonna go to my little chart. I'm gonna do my bump in. I want to go up, so up makes it tight, turn in better, loop makes it looser, so that's gonna be that. And over here, if you know, if up, one click on the bump is to make you looser on turn in, then on the right front, you go one click down, it's going to be looser for turn in there. All right. Let's see. I am okay. Being the fact that I'm going to be loose on entry, I want to be just a little bit tighter on exit. Let's see. I like that, so I'm gonna go here. One click up on the nose weight. Now, nose weight, that click, it's pretty significant depending on your setup, on how you got your everything else with your springs. This nose weight, this one click, it might literally make me a little tight on entry. So let's get back out there.
Focus on your line. We can dial it in from there. Stay on your blend line now.
Guys, I'm probably going to make this maybe like a part 1. Just a kind of an introduction. I wanted to show y'all what I had here and an introduction of how I approach a setup and the things that I've used and what I look for me. And if any of this stuff can help you then that is awesome. Like I said, I want everybody to be able to succeed and compete and have fun. Because when you're competing, you're having fun. And that's what I'm all about. Whether, oh, good Lord.
Amazing lap, driver.
That little twitch off.
Solid lap. You can call it here or stay out. Up to you.
But my entry, with those adjustments, definitely helped me on entry even better, to the point where my off ain't as bad. It's just got to be a little bit measured. As you can see, again, after a few laps, I practically almost beat that time. Which, when I'm gonna be able to get closer and put it together, it could be my suspension is too soft in the front. Because I'm getting my drive in like I want. I'm getting my center. Look, you can see I can hold that bottom line. I can wrap that bottom. I'm practically not even putting the steering input to get off. The car with just being on the throttle, it's practically turning itself to an extent. You know, that's what you call a good handling car whenever you ain't gotta yaw and fight and all this stuff with the wheel. I mean, the fact that I'm able to freaking still turn it down to get to the apron, yeah, it's got good entry. I'm thinking now, I think for me, I think this is a setup I can work with. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish this lap, and I'm going to mess with my front springs. I'm going to actually go to a fourth setup block, fourth custom. It's easy to know where 1 and 2 and 3 is, but all right, and I'm going to clean the slate.
Good job. We're ready to qualify this thing.
Knowing that, remember, the best I was able to get on this setup thus far was a 6.23.6. So before I put too much work into any setup to try to test and tune it, now me, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you, y'all. I'm always
we'll get it ready for you to
tweaking
get back out there
and messing around, and I might get around with Memphis. Me and Memphis might go spend some time together, and we go back and forth with stuff. And we bring it online sometimes, and for me, I'm usually tweaking all the way up even to the day of the race, just seeing if I'm, when we have the practices on Mondays and Tuesdays, which obviously Monday I may make because I run a league race that day, but Tuesdays, those 2 hours, it's
do I need to
really
find another driver? All right, let's make some adjustments.
those 2 hours that we hold on Tuesdays for me is the most crucial, because that's probably the most amount of online time and the most amount of league cars that we have to see how we are in traffic, to see how we are against one another and how we are with one another. And the more as a group we can practice, the better we all are, the better the quality of our race it gets, Everything just goes up. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and let's do one with the same approach, but the front springs are going to be different. And I'm going to put the same rear springs. Okay, now we went what, 3100s with that first setup. Now we're going to go 6400 and bring all this here. I think we dropped it down from a 760 to a 620. So I think I'm gonna do that. Bring this all the way down. Bring this to 54. Put this here. Put this at 500. Now we shouldn't be quite as loose as we were last time because the right rear was a 7 was higher. So let's see. Let me put the wedge right here. Leave this weight here, this here. In fact, I'm gonna put the rear sway bar here. All right.
How you feeling out there?
All right. Let's go see what this first 1 or 2 laps looks like.
Okay, driver. Let's see what this hot rod's got. On your toes now.
Let's see if those front springs makes a difference. Okay. Little loose.
That was a great lap.
Well, got a 23.3.
Everything looks good. Your choice to stay out or come in.
Okay, definitely a little, not bad. Really, really, really not bad. Again, I can get pretty much wide open through the center on exit and not having much of any issues fighting off the corner. At this point, obviously, it's early. Everybody should be able to, get going. First 5 laps should be, we should all be ready to put on top of each other. But by the time you get to 7, 8, 9, 10, people's going to start dealing with pushing and tightening the center. You want to make sure you get your car, if you are a little loose on entry, you want to make sure that your car tightens up enough to where you can get through the corners. You don't want to start off too loose where it's undrivable. Then that's just that's not good for anybody, especially for you. But if you could start off where it's drivable and you can ride around in traffic, if you're in traffic, that's kind of the best, probably the best situation for most guys to be in, especially like a guy like myself. If I know I have a fast car, see, if I'm out front, I'm running practically qualifying laps. That's what I'm doing. It's harder for me to pace myself because I want to run. I want to run and get out and run. But if I'm third, fourth, fifth, sixth in traffic, then my approach is totally different. I am going to lift more. I'm going to be way easier. And that amount of, if it's 2, if it's 3 laps, and I'm easy on those tires, it's going to reflect in my race pace, because when I'm going to be able to get some free track and be able to go, it's going to look like I'm going a lot faster than everybody else, because where their degradation on their tires is going to show more so than mine's. And for me, that's where the long run is going to benefit me the greatest. I think that's what the biggest deal for me here the first time was, I was able to get through the corners and everything, and my fall off was not as bad as most everybody else. And that's the key. And so far, guys, this one here with the higher thing, it handles really good. I like it. I like the balance of it. It actually fires off better than the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a few more laps, and then I'm going to call this part 1. I'm going to call this part 1. And then I'm going to do another video. I'm gonna run some fuel run laps, stints, to see what the game gives me, what the car gives me, and when I have to pit. And then that's when I'm gonna look at where my brake biases are, and me braking to get on entry into pit road and stuff like that, and see how that works. But I'm going to go ahead and share this in our setups tab for Dover. And I'm going to be looking for the rest of the season, I'm going to be doing videos like this. I'm going to be going over the setups I had the first time around, and then I'm going to build one from scratch, and I'm going to take y'all along with me, and you can say if y'all have questions or anything, just message me or ask me whenever we on the game in the practice lobby or something, and I'm going to do that. So, but guys, with over half of a fuel run, car handles pretty good. Pretty good. This Route Shakes Ford is I still want to see if I can find more speed. If I can hit a 1 or even a low 2 and maintain the same balance that I'm having, and have that about second or so fall off in about 10-15 laps, well, about 15 laps, I think that's going to be
great job, driver. Great job.
That's going to be really good. All right, guys, show y'all again. That's the first one I built with those springs. Second one I built with those springs. And I probably would do another one with the springs at about 53. Yeah, I'm probably going to build a fifth one using 53 weighted springs. And I might do more with, I might try to do a little bit more with the rear springs. I might make them go higher. And I might do a little bit more with sway bars and wedge and nose weight and rear sway bars to I might throw the fifth one with a whole lot more stuff. So like really really mix it all up to see if I can get some stuff, get a different feel. But that's gonna be part 2, which I might record that maybe even later today or tomorrow. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up, and I'm gonna share it into our Discord on a champion Discord. All right, guys. Until the next video, Trinity Beast Mode.
That's good. Let's go qualify.
Is out. Oh, I say Swamp Ass Trinity is out. Like and subscribe.